Welcome to the wilderness of West Virginia. I'm here deep in the heart of the Appalachian Mountains, and we're going to be hiking up this mountain and camping in a bear's den. We'll either make it through the night or we'll be woken up by visitors. Either way, you're going to be there with me. You can see there's this gully that goes up the side of the mountain. This is what we're going to follow to get to the cave. Most of the year this has a little stream walking through it, and when it does, this would be the source of water that we would use. But today, there is no water in it, and we can't use it. So we're going to follow it up to the cave and find water somewhere else. Camera doesn't do the best job showing how steep it is, but it's steep here. Following an old deer path up the side of this mountain, and man, I'm not built quite like a deer. Sure is beautiful up here though, can't deny. It's a pretty place. Ooh, almost put my foot down in there. Gotta be careful. This is a steep mountain. I don't think I'm too far away, but still, I can see it. That big pile of rock right up there, that's where we're headed. What's this? Looks like somebody's old deer blind. Might come steal this seat. I didn't bring a chair. Well, this isn't quite the one we were going for, but there seems to be a cave of some form right over here. Oh yeah, this would make an excellent survival shelter. Got that up there. Nice ledge. Could always sleep down in under there. Have a nice fire over here. This wouldn't be too bad. Looks like we are not the first to be here though. I don't see any distinct prints, but there's definitely some torn up ground. There's actually a pretty good chance that if you took the time to dig down into the ground here, you'd manage to find yourself some arrowheads or maybe some pieces of pottery or something. Oh. Wonder who that was and how long ago they made that. It's hard to tell. Right there she is. That's where we're going. So close. This is the front ledge. This isn't the cave itself. This would make an excellent survival shelter. If this wasn't just right around the corner. There we are. Now all we gotta do is get set up. Absolutely beautiful spot though. Very nice indeed. Let me show you around the place. This here is the majority of it. Lots of rock. Ooh, it's nice and cool in here. We've got this little, like alcove. I'm not entirely sure where this came from or how this got here, but it's a pretty nice little hole. You can hide things in. You could probably build a fire in there if you really wanted to and let the heat radiate out, but I don't know how good an idea that would be. Maybe make yourself some kind of bread oven. Up here's the back part of the cave. This here is an animal's bed. Something has been living here. Something has lived here not that long ago, it looks like. And here we have some tracks of some sort, but it's kind of hard to tell what they are in this really loose, gravelly, dusty dirt. There, if you can see, it's some fur. Coyote fur, maybe? That's what it's looking like. Luckily, there's lots of good dead wood here. I want to go ahead and get a fire going. Now that we got that done, I wanted to show you something kind of unique about this cave. It is really just a big pile of rocks. There's a whole bunch of stuff growing on top of it. And there used to be a whole bunch of trees growing up here. But you can see, now these weren't small trees either. These were huge. Look at the size of that. Absolutely massive tree growing on top of this cave, blown over in the wind. Well, now that we got our fire sorted out and our cave all set up, I think now we need to make ourselves a bed. I've got a pretty cool idea on how to do that. we're just going to tear up absolutely loads of this grass, bundle up in this tarp, and take it back, and this is going to be where we sleep on tonight. There we go. Got ourselves a straw mattress. There we go. Got ourselves a nice bed. Up under the tarp. We got all the straw and grass that we pulled up from up there. Fold it over. Make ourselves a nice little bed up out of the dirt and off the rocks. This is a nice spot. Really the only downside to this spot is the lack of water. Now normally, right over there where we have our fire, there would be a little stream coming down through the side of the cave, and I would just use that to get our water. Unfortunately, it's been so dry, we're going to have to look elsewhere for water. And the only place that there's water is back down there. Made ourselves a little bench out of this piece of wood I found lying over there. Got us a nice backrest. Not too close to the fire. Don't want to burn up. Look at this fella. Found just dangling here from the ceiling of the cave. I'd say the smoke from the fire's got him a little bit hazy right now. Well, I'm officially out of water, and water's a long ways off. So I've taken everything out of my bag. We're gonna go up there to where we got the grass for a bed. We're gonna walk down the side of the mountain where I know there's a creek. I believe there's a creek down by where we started and came up, but I believe it's a little bit farther. And if the creek I'm thinking of isn't there, then we're gonna have to go to the big creek way down in the valley. And that is definitely farther than the other way. So we're gonna go up there, empty pack, and come back with as much water as we can carry. And hopefully we'll only do it once. Walking through this tall grass sucks. I'm having to be really careful. Keep an eye out for bees' nests in the ground. Walk up on a snake or something. I don't think I'm gonna walk up on a snake. It's pretty dry up here. I've never seen one up here. But it's still a possibility. And on top of that, I'm getting absolutely covered and all these stupid little seeds coming out of this grass. Fall is here in the Mountain State, and that means some of the most beautiful trees and colors you can find anywhere. Just look at that view. Gosh. And instead of standing here and looking at it, we're going down there. Starting to think maybe I should have just packed as much water as I could in when I first came up here instead of trying to go find more. This brush was nowhere near as bad as it is now when I was here last. Oh, and it's just taking me so long to get through everything. This is all I can see. Every now and again I can get a glimpse of the horizon and tell where I'm trying to go. Well, it's been about 2 hours of walking through nothing but this brush, but I can finally see the place where we're heading. But that tiny little spot down there, that teeny tiny little gravel place all the way down there, that's where we're headed. So close. Aha! I managed to find a path that somebody made. There's a bunch of old junk here. Parts of cars, old metal boxes. There's a bunch of wash tubs. Water probably come up through these rocks at one point. You've got a wheel, an axle. Got some old cool glass bottles. Old piece of a saw blade. This was a handsaw. We have the remnants of a really old snowmobile. Yeah, that's what this is. What's left of one. Still some tracks under there. Looks like we're about to come back out of the woods. Yep. Oh, and the grass here is so much shorter. Look at this. Tell you what, I could get used to this. Well, I just crossed back over from the other side. Pretty much just walked straight across. We're there. We're where we needed to be. But I have some really bad news. That is our creek. That is where we were coming to get water. That is what we've walked for the last 2.5 hours to get to. A dry, empty creek bed. And on top of that, just to add icing on the cake, I just realized I lost the little foam wind cover for you guys. And this is the first time that I've used it. Behold the beauty of our cool, babbling brook full of water that we walked all of this way to get to. Look at this. Can you believe this? Not a drop. The sand in the bottom of this thing is dry. Well, I've walked for another mile maybe up and down the side of this creek bank, and the entire thing is dry. There's a couple little pools, but they're so filthy and disgusting, I don't even want to bother getting it. So our other option is to do what I was trying to avoid by coming down here and walk around the base of this mountain and stop by the creek there somewhere that I know for a fact has water in it. Get some water and walk back up the way we came. So this is the big creek I was talking about. Big. You can see just how low the water here is. Normally almost all of this rock is covered in water. And unfortunately, because of how long I'm having to walk because of the water situation, my camera battery is almost dead. But I want to fill up with water here, and then I'll see you back where we started at the beginning of the video. Well, I'm back to where I started. I don't have much battery left in my camera. I've got 2 camelbacks full of water and 2 Nalgene bottles full of water. I'll see you when I get back to the top. I made it. I don't think I've ever been happier to see a giant rock in my life.
That's just a stupid boulder.
It's not just a boulder. It's a rock.
Well, I'm absolutely exhausted. My feet are really blistered and really sore, and I'm starving. So I've got some dried cranberries, some almonds, what's left of my Starbursts, and most of all, water. And I'm just gonna sit here and dry out my feet for a little bit. Well, after all that hiking, I was pretty tired. I sat and had me a rest and ate some snacks, got to feeling pretty good. I think it's about time to try out this straw mattress and see how it holds up. Well, I just woke up from a pretty good nap. Turns out that straw mattress does work pretty good. It's so nice out here. It's pretty quiet. Every now and again you hear like an airplane go over or something, but no people. I've not seen a single animal. It's just quiet and still and perfect. Of course, you're here, but so I was back up there where we got the straw for the mattress that we made. I was just hanging out. The sun had kind of gone over the trees there. It was nice and cool. Just laying around, just, enjoying everything. And all of a sudden, the entire mountain rumbled. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have a fairly good storm here. The sky sure looks like it, and the sky sure sounds like it. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything put up off the ground. Because there is usually a small stream going through this cave. And I set everything up kind of banking on the fact that there was going to not be a stream through the cave. So we're going to deal with that. Definitely don't want this to get wet. That would be bad. Hear it coming. I went ahead and threw a little bit of wood up under this big ledge so that hopefully in the morning, even if it does rain pretty good tonight, I'll have a little bit of good dry wood to get everything going, make breakfast. I've got another pile of it over here. Just gradually keep feeding the fire. If it starts raining, then I can feed it this stuff instead of having to go out in the rain. When I planned this trip, and this morning before I came out here, I checked again, and they weren't calling for a lick of rain all day and all day tomorrow. And I believed it. It's been hot and dry, just like it has been for months now here. But I might be getting washed out of our cave. So normally that stream would come down up through those rocks right there, and you can see the erosion here on these rocks where it's been. And it would come on down and go pretty much right through where our fire is. So hopefully the ground will be so dry that it absorbs most of it and we don't get absolutely soaked. You can see back in here, it looks like a squirrel or something's been living back in these crevices. over in here. There's chewed up acorns and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get some supper started while we wait on the rain. Got some oil going in. There you get hot. Let's go. Go with that. See if that helps anything. Got some hamburger going in. Going in with some taco seasoning. A little splash of water. Dust off this rock and lay it right there. There's that. Now that we've gotten this rock good and hot, we're gonna pull it out and use it to warm up our tortillas. Just let that sit there for a second and get good and warm. Throw one on there too. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and assemble these bad boys. We're going really simple since I didn't want to have to try and keep any vegetables fresh or anything or bring in too much. I was trying to keep mindful of how much I was carrying too. So we just have meat and cheese today. That. And just like that, oh, your dinner is served. It's nothing fancy, but it's good. Well, it's already dark in the cave, and I don't know how well you can hear it, but the rain's here. So I guess we'll stoke the fire back up and hide in our cave like a caveman for the rest of the evening. So in the event that it does rain, odds are the water's going to come down this back side here. So I'm going to kind of clear out this area. Even if the river does come back, we should be out of its way. Well guys, it's starting to get late, so I think I'm going to go ahead and hit the hay. It's so warm out, I'm not even going to bother unrolling my sleeping bag. I'm just going to use it for a pillow and keep the gun next to me in case we have any visitors. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go to bed. I'll see you in the morning. I just woke up to get a drink and go back to the bathroom, and I can hear a bunch of coyotes over there on the other side of that brush where we walked earlier. And I'm pretty sure that all those little beds that were in here before we were here were coyote beds. Well, we made it through the night. We didn't get eaten by a bear. We didn't get attacked by coyotes. And I haven't had to shoot anything yet. Alright, time to get the morning started. There we go. Bed all packed up. This straw actually made a pretty good mattress last night. Kept me good and warm. It did get a little bit chilly, but with that fire going in here, this cave's already getting hot. I'm just sitting here by the fire waiting on some coals to build up so we can make some breakfast. Watching the sun come up and getting ready for the day to start. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get started on some breakfast. We're going to make ourselves something my dad always used to make whenever we'd go camping when I was little. We're going to have ourselves some fried biscuits. In this bag I just have some self-rising flour, some salt, a little spoonful of instant milk powder since I don't have any fresh milk with me, and we're going to add a little bit of oil to that, and a little bit of water, mix it up, and hopefully make ourselves some biscuits. I got a can of gravy to go along with it so we can have some biscuits and gravy for breakfast. Let that sit there for a minute while we get everything else ready. So I just realized I brought this can of gravy so I could be lazy and not have to make some gravy. But I didn't bother to bring a can opener of any kind, so I guess we're going to have to get creative. Well, it ain't pretty, but it's open. Let those sit there and fry a little bit. We'll flip them over. Try to keep them good and slow so they get cooked in the middle, and we'll have some breakfast. There's our biscuit. There we go. It might not look the prettiest, and it's definitely not the fanciest breakfast anyone's ever had camping, but I'm sure it's going to taste delicious. Oh yeah. Fried biscuits is one of my absolute favorite camping breakfasts, and I haven't had it since I was little. When Dad used to make it, he would cover it in butter and brown sugar and cinnamon, but the gravy's good too. We got ourselves a proper sunrise going on, and I didn't realize, but last night when I made tacos, I had one of these to drink with it. So I guess we'll have that with breakfast instead of coffee. I'm definitely not hauling all this water out here. We want to make sure with how dry it's been, this fire's good and out, so. Well, this has been a good spot, but I think it's time to go home. And I think I have a better idea on how we're going to get there, instead of walking down through all that brush again. Well, instead of walking through all that brush, I was going to try and walk through the woods and just keep to the side of it to keep where we're going. But I'm not so sure that this will be any easier. Check this out. Couple of old rock piles. Somebody probably stacked these here, clearing out a field that used to be up here. Pretty neat. Well, that didn't last long. The woods pretty quickly got so grown up, I was walking through briars and trees instead of brush and grass. But it also rained last night, which means I'm getting absolutely positively soaked walking through this tall grass. Guess it's a good thing we're headed home. Gosh, look at that. There she is. The bottom. And on top of that, I just found our road from yesterday. Things are starting to look up. Oh boy. Almost there. Well, we made it back to the road. Just a little ways from here and we'll be back. Listen, whenever I first made that last video of mine, I never dreamed anybody would watch it. And the fact that you are now, you know, I'm grateful for that. But if there's anything you'd like to see or anything you'd like to see change, go ahead and leave a comment down below, because I don't really know what I'm doing. And I'm kind of just recording trips that I wanted to take anyway. So if you have any input, go ahead and leave that for me.